If you're looking to spend $800 on a gaming desktop with a great graphics card and also a great CPU, you came to the right video because prices been better than ever, so I recommend you watching this whole video. And before starting, a word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is keys.com. This website basically lets you buy Windows 10, Windows 11 and Microsoft Office keys. This is really important for PC builds, especially if you want to get Windows 10 or 11 at a cheaper price, because Windows keys are around $100, which is already a lot. You can buy these keys for as little as $15, but I actually have a discount code down below in the description where you have a 50% off and even 60% off for some of these keys, and it's really easy to buy. You just gotta go to, let's say, the Windows 10 Pro key, then you add it to the card and apply the coupon BKB50 for 50% off. Don't worry, you have all of this information in the description like I said before, and then the total price will be around $750, and then you proceed to check out with your favorite payment method, and then you just activate Windows. And this is something great because you save a lot of money and there's no reason to buy a Windows key for at least $100. With that being said, let's start with the video. So with this build we have the i3-12100F for the CPU. This is the budget key right now. You cannot beat it for the price, $107. You can go with the non-F version if you do some video editing, but if you're just going to do gaming, you can video edit with this CPU as well, but it's not going to be as good as the non-F version. But once again, this is a great gaming CPU, and for 1080p 60 FPS on average for basically every single game is going to be enough. Then for the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte B660M Micro ATX motherboard. This doesn't include Wi-Fi. This is something to keep in mind because you wanna buy a Wi-Fi adapter if you're not going to have it connected directly to your modem, so keep that in mind. Then for the memory kit, I went with the Silicon Power 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8, DDR4, 3200 MHz of speed, CL16 memory. This is all we are going to need for 1080p gaming. You definitely don't need 32 gigs of RAM on a gaming desktop, so take that off your head. You just need 16 gigs, 2 of 8 of course, because you will need that dual channel, and then you're good to go. For the storage, I went with the Western Digital Blue 1TB of M.2 NVMe SSD. This is going to be definitely fast to storage Windows and your favorite games. Now, you may need more storage than 1TB depending on the games that you want to play. I think that 1TB is the standard nowadays, so if you need more storage, you can of course upgrade it over time. And then for the graphics card, the most important part on a gaming PC, we have the MSI Radeon RX 6600 8GB of VRAM graphics card, and this GPU is going to be definitely perfect for 1080p gaming. It's a competition for the 3060, and the 3060 it's around $450, so here you save a bunch of money if you were going to buy the 3060, and it's going to perform just as good. So if you want to play even high demanding video games at 1080p at high settings, this PC is definitely going to be capable of doing that because you get the RX 6600. And for those competitive titles such as Valorant, Fortnite, CSGO, whatever competitive title that you're playing, you will be able to achieve more than 144 FPS. But again, if you lower the graphics settings, even 240 is possible on this gaming desktop. Now for games like Warzone, which you require a better GPU, 140 FPS on the lowest settings is going to be more than possible. So keep that in mind. Any game that you want to play at 1080p, you are going to be capable of doing that at least 60 FPS on average. But you should take a look at your favorites game recommended specifications on Google before buying anything, and the price here it's really impressive, but we will talk about that in a second. Then for the case, I went with the Deepcool Matrix 40 Micro ATX mid tower case. This is going to be great for the airflow, and since we don't have the greatest components, we don't need a CPU cooler or a better case. This one is going to be all that we need. And then finally for the power supply, I went with the AVGA Supernoga 650 80+ gold certified power supply. This is an overkill for this type of build, but if you want to do an upgrade in the future, let's say you want to put like the i5-12400, then I think it's going to make sense, and it's even going to make more sense if you upgrade the GPU to, let's say, the RTX 3060 Ti. So the total price will be $807. Now if you activate Windows with keys off, the total price will be around $815, and if you buy this software from Windows, it's going to be around $907. So I really recommend you buying the keys from another website. Now, if you have more money to spend, you can go for the i5 12400F instead of the i3, but then you will need a CPU cooler. It doesn't need to be a super high-end CPU cooler. You can get away with the $30 to $50 range CPU cooler, so don't worry about spending a lot on a CPU cooler if you get the i5, but that's the upgrade I would make if I had a budget a little bit over $800. And if you want to cut down the price even more, you can go with 500 gigs of SSD instead of a terabyte. You end up saving around $50, and this is something that you can always upgrade later on, so you don't need a terabyte right now. And if you're working on a really tight budget, that's the only thing that I would downgrade. With that being said, if you don't want to build it by yourself, you want a Prebuilt PC, I have a bunch of videos talking about Prebuilt PCs, but you will have the most important Prebuilt PCs video in the top right of the screen for the best Prebuilt PCs of the month. And if you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content, as well with more gaming PCs content. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.